Hello, welcome. Sammy here with our tarot astrology reading. Woohoo! Yeah! Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you today. It is a beautiful Wednesday and lots of awesome things to talk about in the stars and in the sky. And I can't wait to share that with you. And then, so first we'll listen to our sound bowl. We'll take a moment to meditate here together. And then we will talk about the sky and the magic happening up there. And then I'll pull some cards. So that should be a good time. And I'm really grateful that you're here. Okay, so let's find a comfortable position. By the way, I'm a Gemini, not an Aquarius, but I have an Aquarius moon and this shirt is just really soft. But I didn't want to mislead anybody. Actually, I'm going to tell you more about that soon. And this shirt and the story. So with no further ado, let's take a few breaths together. Lovely. So right now the moon is still in Virgo, and what's interesting, we have Venus in Virgo as well, where she has been, and they crossed paths earlier. And I don't know about you, but I definitely felt my whole self being really aligned. I don't know, you probably experienced this too, not just people who are Gemini, Sun, Libra risings with all of that duality and flexibility happening, but often there's lots of things I really want to do and I'm really excited about, and it can sometimes be hard to choose, and I can sometimes feel sort of like pull to be doing more than one thing at once. But today, with Venus and the moon together, I've really been feeling like, okay, my heart, my body, my emotions are all kind of happy to be doing what I was doing. And that was a lot of very physical, sensual things like cooking, resting, being affectionate with my loved one, and things like that. So that's very Virgo, very earthy, and very grounded, and a lot of harmony in having the moon and Venus together there, and also having, since Venus is in the trine with 3 planets, triple trine, we have a double triple trine. I'm not sure what the math word for that would be, but Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in trine with Venus and with the moon. So a lot of harmony going on today, and we talked about that yesterday, and I hope you've been able to enjoy some of that and experience that. And what is also interesting, what's going to be changing over the next 24 hours, and right now it's 6:15 p.m.-ish Eastern time, and by tomorrow the moon will be in Libra at this time, well into Libra, and that means that instead of having the double trine up to Capricorn, the moon's going to leave that trine position and join the sun in Libra, and the sun is opposite Mars, and that means the moon will soon be opposite Mars. And so that's an interesting position. We've been talking a lot about the Mars opposition recently and how that could bring about a lot of creativity and a lot of energy and expression of passion and taking action boldly. Sometimes there might be some tension around that, but it could also just be really energizing. And having the moon there will be a sort of similar thing where emotions and passions will be really in sync And people who have that position in their birth charts with the moon opposite Aries, they're often really excited about things. They love variety. They love to be doing things that are new and exciting and exploring. And they're also really, they tend to be able to really connect their hearts to their passions, and to be in terms of things like maybe even sexuality, to be really embodied. And they're not the kind of people that will sort of split or compartmentalize one part of their lives from the other. They bring their emotions with them, and it can be hard sometimes because they might need to find ways to bring that energy into a calmer or more sustainable place if it is getting them carried away. But typically I think it's a pretty cool placement, and I know that oppositions are traditionally sources of tension and maybe conflict, but having the sun and moon together there opposite Mars, I think it forms a really nice balance and an ability for us to unite our emotions with our actions and the way we express ourselves and who we are and our true selves, and let our true selves come forth and do things and be bold and take actions, and to bring our hearts along with us for that ride. So I think that that's a really nice shift that we're going to go from today into tomorrow. And also we're coming up very soon on the new moon on the 16th, the new moon in Libra. And the new moon is the moon that, we can't see it. It's totally covered in the shadow of the earth. But what is interesting is that the new moon tomorrow, the moon is going to be closer to earth than any other new moon during this year. So even though we can't see it with our eyes, it's really big and really close. It's a super moon. If you live by the ocean, the waves are probably going to be a little more enthusiastic, and the tide will probably be higher. And if we think about ourselves and our own bodies and our own emotion, we might feel that kind of excitement and movement and sensitivity and just a heightening of emotions, especially having Mars opposite the sun and the moon during this big new moon that's happening. So it's going to be a really great time to be deeply in touch with who we are and what we most want, and to enjoy the experience of newness and enjoy all of the creative potential that we have. And let's see. And then also the full moon that's coming on the 31st in a couple weeks, that's going to be the furthest away full moon from us. So that's on Halloween, and that's going to be a full moon, and hopefully we'll be able to see it wherever you are if it's not too foggy that night, but it's going to look kind of smaller. And so it's funny that when the moon is going to be really close, we won't be able to see it, and then when it's going to be full and bright, it's going to be further away. But could be something fun to meditate on, things being the things that are very close to us that we can't necessarily perceive with all of our senses. So maybe I'll meditate on that one. And with no further ado, I've been saying that a lot lately. I don't know if I think I'm a magician or what that's about, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. With no further ado, great, or what are some other things people say? And next we have the cards. So I'm gonna shuffle, and I invite you to take some deep breaths with me. Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here just in time for the tarot reading. And we were talking a lot about how the new moon is tomorrow, and how it's a special new moon because this new moon happens to be when the moon is very, very close to Earth, and that's going to make the tides high, and it's going to create a beautiful pull. And it's a super moon, even though we can't see it. So it's a special moon, and the moon and sun are going to be together across from Mars, giving us the ability to really integrate our emotions and our actions with our true selves. Okay. Let's see. If there's anything you'd like to explore, feel free to drop it into the comments. Oh, and another thing we were talking about, it's kind of cool because the moon is just passed through where Venus is in Virgo to go meet the sun. So it's kind of like the moon stopped to spend time with the goddess of love and romance and really like align with her and pick up that loving energy on its way to go meet the sun, which is our whole selves, our true self, the way we shine forth and connect with the world. So the moon, you can almost imagine it's as if she walked through Venus's home, and maybe her clothes picked up some of the perfume and the incense of Venus's house. And when she goes to get to the sun, she's going to bring that flavor. So the new moon is going to be kind of like scented with romance and love. Okay, let's look at our cards. The first card. The Queen of Swords. I love that we just picked that because in yesterday's reading, the third card was the King of Swords. And so now it's like we were just talking about the moon passing through Venus on her way to Libra. And this is very much a Libra card because the Queen of Swords is the master of air. And this queen looks a lot like Libra. She's got the moon, she's got butterflies, her sword, so she's got one hand pointing straight ahead. It's all about clear seeing, clear communicating, alignment, beauty, and freshness. So I think this is the perfect energy to express the new moon tomorrow. And it could also be a reminder of appreciating yourself in the ways you're like the Queen of Swords and the ways you have that strength and power to communicate clearly and to communicate with beauty and flexibility, because the butterfly and the moon represent change and transformation. And also, if there's anyone in your life that's like this, that's a wonderful thing, and to be grateful for that and to show your gratitude. Okay. I know I'm lucky enough to have a lady like this in my life who expresses things really precisely and beautifully in a way that always helps me to have better understanding, and not only better understanding of things, but more compassionate understanding. So if you know anyone who helps you see things in a more compassionate light this day and tomorrow, the new moon day tomorrow could be a really great day to reach out and connect with anybody who helps you see things that way, and to carry that energy all the way up to the 31st. Let's look at our second card. The Nine of Wands. So you see here this figure standing there with a bandage on their head, and they look a little bit battered and a little bit in pain, but they are standing strong on 2 feet, and they have a whole bunch of these magical, fiery, creative wands with all of the power that they represent all around them. And it's a bright blue sky, and there's nothing threatening in the environment. So this is always a message of, if there's anything that you've been struggling with, or that's been rough, or that's given you some pain, that's okay. You're still in a great position to continue on. And it's kind of like beaten but not broken, and just keep going. So that's that one. Let's look at our third and final card for today. Did I say that tomorrow is the 16th? Today's the 14th. I meant in 2 days. So we still have a little bit of time before the new moon. Okay. The third card is the Three of Pentacles. So you see here, there is somebody, an artisan, a stonemason of some kind, chiseling something into a wall of this nice looking, shady, sturdy building that has these pentacles carved into them. And it looks like they're consulting with these 2 other figures who are maybe represent having some more wisdom or experience, but this person standing up on the stool is learning and creating. So it's a card of teaching and learning and creating, and we have these 3 pentacles together. So there is good creative energy and abundance. It reminds me a little bit of how we still have the 3 planets in Capricorn, and how those are making squares with Mars and the Sun, and we have those angles happening. So just we don't have too much longer with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, the Earth signs, and an Earth card, all in Capricorn like that. And I think it's a good reminder that we can continue to make steady progress and keep learning and keep creating. And since we do have the Sun in trine with them, that's really all we need to be doing, is keep learning, keep creating, and you're on the right path. And there is lots of abundance and lots of experiential abundance too, and the things that you're creating and the experiences that you're creating, welcome, and the moments that you're creating, events, anything like that you're making that are beautiful and balanced, because this is also a very symmetrical, beautiful card with this structure. And since the Sun is in Libra, there's that element of balance happening in the stars. So yeah, you're on the right track. Keep creating and building and enjoying the process of that, knowing that it's just going to lead to more and more goodness in your life. And everything you're learning, you're going to be able to teach, and everything that you are teaching is just going to teach you. So let's see. I'm so glad you all are here. If there are any thoughts or questions that you'd like to share or ask right now before we go, I would love to hear it. And let's see. And when I did tell you I was going to share a little story about this shirt. So this shirt, it says Aquarius on it, and I bought it originally. It was going to be a birthday present for my friend who's an Aquarius, but then I found out that this friend had certain conflicting thoughts about astrology, and so I ended up not giving them the shirt, and since I have a moon in Aquarius, I thought, okay, why not wear it? But this is a really good friend, and we've just gotten back in touch lately, and I'm excited to continue talking about it with them because, you know, I keep learning more and more about astrology and the stars and how to communicate with people, with different backgrounds and perspectives in terms of their belief systems. I'm a Gemini, and so I'm looking forward to that conversation and hopefully to it bringing about greater closeness and maybe giving someone the ability to enjoy learning about the stars and learning about our universe in a way that doesn't cause them any inner conflict. So I don't know if anyone out there has had experience with that, but if you have, I'd love to hear about it. And also I'd love to hear what's your sign, Gurudev. So in a moment we will turn back with the sound bowl and we will take some breaths and meditate together for a few moments. You're a Gemini too? Oh, that's amazing. Yes, I think everyone here right now is a Gemini. Oh, you're a Virgo. Oh, nice. Amazing. So you must be enjoying the moon in Virgo and Venus in Virgo right now. We're both mutable signs. I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's been a lovely moon and Venus union in Virgo over here, and I hope it has been for you. I'd love to hear more about your experience being a Virgo, having the moon and Venus in Virgo today, if you would like to message about that. So let's get comfortable and we'll take a few breaths together. Let's first exhale everything you can, and when you think you've exhaled as much as you can, exhale a little bit more. Then we'll just feel what that emptiness feels like that new moon within us. And then we'll take a long, slow, deep inhale. And then when we think we've inhaled everything we can, we're going to inhale a little bit more and feel that fullness. And then we're going to let that go and just take a couple breaths in and out naturally. And then I will play the gong. So let's start by that out breath. Sharing this with me. That's so good. Okay, I hope you have a really lovely night and a beautiful couple of days leading up to the new moon. And I will see you here again tomorrow. Good night.